I've been playing, well, not me personally, but I've been delivering a lot more games-based practices uh, over the last year, I think. And I just realised this evening that I'd been doing it. I hadn't really given it a lot of thought, but I think it was my time in Iceland where we had a games-based syllabus, and I had to be a little bit more creative with what I was delivering because of the constraints within the syllabus. It just started making me think more, which I think as a coach you kind of, you're always trying to look for a little bit of a percentage, different ways to get more out of your players and get better quality out of the players. So without realising it, I'd taken my experience and applied it as soon as I left, and I started designing my work differently and looking a lot more at delivering games-based practices. So like this week with our U13 boys and the U12 boys, we're working on, the U13s are working on building play, and our U12s are working on technical practice, running with the ball to turn and dribble. But in between that time, they both have a similar problem-solving game, and the technical practice goes from no pressure to semi-pressure to full pressure and looking more game-like. So I'm really pleased about that. I'm pleased about my change. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that you've got to try to identify different ways to be creative, and the players enjoy it as well. I think it's easy to just put sessions on that you've designed. We're going to do this there and do this, and then sometimes it's got to be something that the players will love this. Yeah, let's do this, the players will love this. So many times I ask the players, well, what do you want to do now? Would you rather this or this or this? So they love the games-based stuff, even though I think that when you first start delivering more of a games-based program, the players initially show a little bit of reluctance because they generally want the traditional, directional possession, 2 goals, even teams. So when you start to mix that up a little bit, if they're not already accustomed to adjusting, then your games-based syllabus could be something which they loathe. So we want to make them love it. I worked with a player a couple of years ago, and we just did a 6-goal game, and he hated it. I thought he was going to literally just chop my head off. And then the second session, he asked if we could do that. So I think you've got to, whenever you look to deliver things, I think you should try your best to have the dialogue with the players and explain what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because with my groups, we do these small-sided games very frequently. Every session, sometimes a longer duration when I'm not managing the timing very well, and that they're always kind of buzzing. I don't know whether they love it or not. I think they do, but I think just getting them into the rhythm of different types of games so that they open their minds a little bit. It makes them easier to work with in the future because they are used to being uncomfortable. So it's not something that they frown upon. They embrace it and they're accustomed to it, so they don't have a comfort zone. So then they can be stretched, they're more malleable, and they will show, I think they'll show more growth if they're not accustomed to this is what we do all the time. It's like, no, we don't have a one cap fits all, so we're going to be flexible with how we work with you. So more games based sessions, explained fully to the players so that they get it, allow the players to have some options within there, like, you know, goals or targets, or larger goals or smaller goals, explain why we're making the area a certain size, also depending on the age of the players, like I used my small-sided game today as kind of like a substitute for some of the more traditional warm-ups or activations that I might deliver. So the idea of using the small-sided game is something to also get the players activated, rather than the traditional sort of, you know, quick feed or whatever. I do that as well, but I think it's also helpful to show a little bit more flexibility and different ways to disguise the different areas within the game that you're using for something else, you know.
1, 2, 3, 4.